a YouTube gentleman, Todd, contacted me. He was looking for my lesson on this, and I swore up and down I did a lesson on this, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I save all my lessons, even the ones from Vanderbilt. I have a lot of old ones there, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't find my personal notes on it, so I don't think I had done this. But I'm glad in that sense, because I've come at it with new ears, obviously a better playing ability, and you'll see the way I research my videos, just a better way to play it. So everyone, we're going to turn the REO Roll with the Changes world upside down here. Wow, this is going against all the tab that's out there, but I think you'll find it correct, and I'm going to explain why. A couple ways I found out what Gary was doing for this, especially this intro lick. So I've written my tab out. It'll be linked below the video. You can download that, follow along with the video. Gary, God rest his soul, just one of my favorite all-time players. Such a master of phrasing and bends and unison bends and double stops. So with that said, this song, a lot of piano in it, but Gary just, his solos are so melodic and to the point. There's one that's I'm pretty sure that's overdubbed when he comes back in, but we'll talk about that. I'll show you the chords of the chorus and the verse if you want to play along with those when he comes in. And we'll get to the lesson. So I researched this lesson and really wrote this out originally with the way most of the tabs do, up here at 19 on the 3rd string and 20 on the 2nd. And I was never really happy with that tone. It's like I couldn't bend it to the right place. I just couldn't get it to where I was happy with it. But I went with it because a lot of the YouTube covers, the people that play this lead, who are exceptional at it, were doing it that way too. It wasn't until I looked up the Don Kirshner video of REO. It's an early one, but there's a great shot, especially in the intro, of Gary playing it at 1st string 15, 2nd string 16, just bending those that 2nd string. And then he moves positions to do that walk up the A minor pentatonic, basically. So it was like I had to rewrite my notes and kind of refigure it out watching Gary. And that's what we have here. So what Gary does to start out with, we're on the 1st string, like I said, at 15, 2nd string at 16. We're going to bend the 2nd string, give it some vibrato. Then what he does is he hits it unbent and then hits open and then 16 again. Meanwhile, 15 is just kind of ringing, or you hit it muted. It doesn't much matter because it's so fast, but it'll sound like this. So after we hit it once, open, back to 16, then we're going to hit it again and bend again with some vibrato. Now we release that, all right? We release that 16, 15, catch 17, that C note on the, because there's definitely a C note. I'm not sure. He really just skips it in the live. He just does it and then comes up to do the lick. But it's there in the recording, so you can play this C note because you're right here on the 3rd string at 17, and then do the lick. All right. Wow, that was just eye-opening. Alright, so the lick in A minor really kind of follows all the tab that's out there. We're going to hit 20 on the 1st string, bent up, and then we're going to hit, let's see, that's 17 to 20, back to 17 on the first string, and then we're going to go to the second string, 2017, down the scale, 17, 19, third string, or I'm sorry, 1917. Then we'll go to the fourth string, 19, lay your finger down, hit the third string, 19, back to the fourth string, 19. All right, so we have this so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we kind of end on 17 here on the third string, and then you're going to see, you see Gary jump finger positions because he's doing that 15 and 16 first and second string. He'll bend up 16, hit 15, hit 16, bend again, hit 15, and then release 16. So it'll sound like this. Let me take it from the lick. So after lets that down, you hit the second string from the release at 16, you're going to hit 15, and then he slides from 16 to 17 on the third string. And I've seen, again, you know, people doing this when they do it here. They know there's something different there. Well, that difference is he's sliding into the note with a slight bend. So, again. All right, that's the intro. So, again, I've written this out. You can download that. Now we're going to go into the verse where he starts the piano, and then you'll hear Gary come in again, and we'll go over that part next. All right, so the next time we hear Gary and actually another guitar come in, because there's, again, two guitars overdubbed for most of this song. But I'll show you how Gary plays it live too. So you'll hear him come in when Kevin says, "Come and take a drink of," you'll hear this. So this whole leads are really in A minor scale, or the Aeolian mode if you're into modes. So after we've done that first chorus, now before the next verse there's a slight guitar solo. And it's going to start with, I'm going to call this our C unison bend because it's used so often. So it's on the 8 and 11. All right, so we're going to do this, and it's a bunch of unison bends, and you'll see even more why that beginning matters. Not as smooth as Gary. That guy just can do this in his sleep. Obviously, he's practiced a whole bunch and is damn naturally talented at this. But what we're doing, we're going to start out with that C unison bend. We'll hit it once and then 2 more times. Then we're going to come into a unison bend on first string at 15, 18 on the second string. Slide real quickly to 10. I'm sorry, 8 and 11 again, to 10 and 12, to 10 and 13, all right, then we go to 12 and 15, back to 10. This is the one time we step back, so we're going up and then back, okay, so we started out 15, 18, we go to 8, 10, 12, step back to 10, 12, move it up 1/2 step to 11 and 16, and then back where we started on 15 and 18, and that's where our beginning is for Gary to do that lick, which he does 4 times. Okay, so I've written that out, bolded that 4 times that he hits the 16, 15. It's really together. All right, so listen to that. But man, he is so smooth with that. So the next verse, other than this intro, is really the same as the others. So when he says thunder clapping, you'll hear Gary kind of slide up the strings with his hand to the 3rd fret of this 5th string for a C note. Then he goes right below on the 3rd string at the 3rd fret and hits that and bends it. So you'll hear this. And again, he starts releasing it, and then you come into that A sharp, and it's more of a down, up, down. Okay, they're really going to ride that G a little bit, kind of fade that out, and then you're into the, I don't know, I guess I'll call it the solo. All of these really are solos, but I wrote it out as the solo part. I'm calling this the solo in my notes. All right, that's the first measure. So what he does, we're right here at our C unison bend. Then we're going to hit it unbent and bent again 3, 4 more times. Then we release it, hit the 11 with the 8 twice, move that to 10 and 8, to 8 and 8. Then we're going to go to the 3rd string, 9, 7, 5 twice to open. Then we come back to 7 with a bend up as we hit it, catch 8, and then hit 7 again and release with a pull off to 5. All right, so we have this so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go back to 7 to 5 on the 3rd string, back to 7 on the 4th string, and then end on 5 on the 3rd string for the first measure of this solo. All right, one more time together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the first measure of the solo. The second part kind of sticks right here at this 5th and 8th position. We'll do this. Alright, so we're going to hit the 1st and 2nd string at 8 twice to 5 once. Then we're going to take 7 on the 3rd string, hit it, bend it up while hitting 8, and hit it unbent, and then 5 while still keeping 8 down. Then we come right back to the 7 on the 3rd string to 5, move right up to 5 on the 4th string. Alright, so we have this. So we go 5, 7 on 4. Then we're going to do this back and forth lick. It will actually be twice. We'll hit 5 on the 3rd string to 7 on the 4th string. And then 7 on the 3rd string back to 7 on the 4th string for one kind of section of it. Then we do it again. Then we start with 5 to 7 on that 3rd to 4th string. and then go right to 7 to 5 on the third string with vibrato. All right, so let's take the whole thing together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so there's one more section of this lead, and then we're back into where he goes, let's call it the pre-chorus. So, alright, so we're to that point, but one more measure of this solo, we'll go over that next. Alright, so the last measure of the chorus, I'm going to take it from the 7 to 5 on the third string of the second measure where we end there. Alright, again, not as smooth as Gary. I haven't practiced this a great deal. I've practiced it a bit, but man, it's one to really work at. All right, so what we're doing after the 5 to 7, or 7 to 5, we're going to just hit 7 on the 4th and 3rd string with kind of a slide up. And then you'll hear this real quick 5, 7 on the 3rd string with the hammer on, pull off back to 5, pull off to open. It's real quick because he's sliding right then into 9. Alright, so once you slide then back into 9 on that 3rd string, we're going to hit 8 to 10 on the 2nd, to 8 on the 1st, back to 8 on the 2nd. Now we're setting us up for these repetitive licks. It's going to start out 10 pulling off to 8 on the 1st string, landing on 10 on the 2nd. The 10 on the 2nd will be our consistent landing point. So come back to 8. Then we're going to pull off 12 to 8 on the 1st string, landing on 10 on the 2nd. Then we'll hit 1st string 8, and then again 10 pulled off to 8, landing on 10 on the 2nd. Alright, so the whole thing from the 7 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now at that point, when we hit 8 on the 1st string, we're going to do our unison bend again. We'll bend it once up, and then unbent, and then bent twice. And he just kind of holds that as you hear him coming in. So, with the vocals. Alright, that's what I consider the solo. We're into the next part, which we know, all right, but there's one little different part when we do our unison bend here. All right, so we're going to solo. To the chorus. Alright, so what we're doing there different is our unison bend with the 8 and 11. Then we're going to do one where he's definitely hitting it and bending it from the 13th fret and 16 on the 2nd string. So you hear a bend it and slide down. So listen for that. It's again, it's a real technique. And then you're back in. All right, and then we're into the chorus. All right, so we're into the chorus. I noticed live, Gary doesn't really play the chorus, but there's a guitar in the recording, and it's fun to play along with, especially with how they do it. It's right here at the C position. All right, so we're going to hit a C power chord. Then we're going to go C and play an F power chord. Move that down and play C and F over a B flat. or A sharp. Back to our F, and the B, flat, A sharp, and F are half measures. All right, so we have back to C, then we repeat again, starting with C again. All right, great chorus. And then the organ solo comes in. So really, if you turn your guitar down, a little less distortion, you can play right along with the chorus because he follows those chords during the organ solo. So your C over F, and your C, F over A sharp, and F over C back to our C is consistent throughout the organ solo. So right after the organ solo, you hear him do this. Alright, I'm going to stop there because it gets real hairy. What we're doing, just like we did in the intro licks, 15 on the first string, bend up 16 on the second string. We'll hit 16 to 15 twice, and then 16 just slid down. Alright, and then he does a unison bend. And then you'll hear 11 to 8 pulled off twice on the second string. Then we go 8 to the first string, 11 to the second. Back to 8 on the first and 8 on the second. This starts the little lick here. It's just a redundant lick. 8, 10 on the second string to 8 on the first string. We'll do that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Alright, so let's take this again from the beginning slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, at that point we're to the second measure, which starts out same position. I'll talk about that last half of that measure, or quarter of the next measure actually. Alright, so when we finish from our 8 to 10 back to 8 from the second to first string, we come back to the first string 8, back to the second string 8 twice. Then we're going to start this little pull off. It'll be 8 to 10 and then 12 to 10, but we're going to bar across the first and second string and hit the second string at 8 between, so it'll sound like this. I'll take it from the first half with the 2 8s. So you can see we do 2 of each. 10, pulled off to 8, and then 8 on the second. 12, 8 or 10 again. 12. Then we go 8 to 10 bent. Then 10 to 8. Then we're going to hit 10 again, unbent, and 10 bent. So we have this. Then we're going to hit 10 to 8 unbent again, and then 10 to 8 on the second string. Alright, I'm going to stop there because this is really the second measure of this part after this solo. So let's take it from the beginning with the 2 8s on the first and second string. 1, 2, 3, 4. At that point, we're leading into where the lead is actually overdubbed. And live, I've bolded it out in this part of the post organ solo where Gary doesn't play it. He'll walk down the scale like I show you here, 9 on the 3rd string to 7 and 5, and then 7, 5 on the 3rd string. And then you'll hear him go into the next. But in the studio recording, it kind of keeps going as you hear the next guitar coming in. So what they're doing as they keep coming on, we'll go 9, 7, 5, 3rd string, 4th string, 7, 5, and then this is the part again Gary skips. We'll go 7, 5 to 3, all right, and we'll slide from 5 to 3, and then pull off to open. So it's real quick because he's coming back in, and again, it's overdubbed. So let's take it from the 9 on the 3rd fret, 3rd string. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the next part of the solo, that's pretty prominent because it gives it a little bit of pick harmonic. So you want to get your pick real close to your finger and let your thumb kind of hit the string. And we'll do 3 bends at the 7th fret. And then it's 7, 5, 7, 5, hit again, hit each on the 3rd string. And then that 7th fret bent and vibratoed twice. Then just to 3. All right, so we have this. 5th. All right, so all together the 3rd string vibrato. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so cool, we got that part down. Now he goes into this palm muting, really cool section. It ends with a pick scrape and a little change up, and we'll go over that next. Okay, so to start this palm muting out, we're going to go 5 to 7 on the 5th string, to 5 on the 4th string, back to 7 on 5. Then 7 on the 4th, 7 on the 5. See, we got that little lick started, but that's all we do with the 5th string. Then we jump to the 3rd string, 5 to the 4th string, 7, and then 7, 5 on the 3rd string to 7 on the 4th string. Alright, just like we did earlier, there's 4 of them. So 5 to 7 from 3 to 4, 7 to 7 from 3 to 4, start again. And the last one. Alright, so all together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we're back up to our lick. Alright, for the next measure, we'll go over that. Okay, the next measure, after we've done the palm muting, you'll hear him do a pick scrape and then right back into the intro. I'll stop there. So we're doing the intro again. We're going to hit that C note there. Then we're going to hit this C note up at the 20th fret of the 1st string with a bend. And a slide catching 8, another C note. And then we go to the 2nd string, 8 to 10, back to 8 on the first and 8 on the second. Then we hit 9, slide back to 5, and then hit 7 to 5. And that kind of starts the next measure of the solo. But what we have so far is this: 1, 2, 3, 4. The next measure will start right from there. We're going to hit 7, bend up, catch 8, and then 7 unbent to 5 twice on the 3rd string. And then we go 7, 5 on the 4th string into 7 with a little vibrato. Alright, so we have this. And then you'll hear this. Alright, so what he's doing is hitting 7 and 8 on the 1st and 2nd string, sliding up to 8 from 7 6 times, and then just hitting 8 6 times. And then as you're here, you're just going to start the next measure. Alright, so after that we're going to hit 8 to 10 on the 2nd string with the hammer on, 8 on the 1st to 2nd string, then we'll do a couple pull-offs from 12 to 8 and 10 to 8, then 10 to 8 on the 2nd string, then we're going to kind of switch directions. We're going to hit 8 on the 3rd string, hammer into 9, hit 8 on the 2nd. Back to 9, then we'll hit 7, slide to 5, and end up on the 7th fret of the 4th string. Alright, so again, slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so this last measure will end it, and then we're back into the chorus. Alright, so I'm going to take it from the slide from 7 to 5, ending on 7, and we do this. Okay, so when we slide from 7 to 5 on the 3rd string, ending up on the 4th string at 7, that starts another measure, and this measure will go from 5 on the 3rd string to 4th string, 7, 5. That 5 on the 4th string will start a little repetitive measure. We're going to be going from 4th string at 5th fret to 7 6 times. Then we hit 5 and then 3 on the 5th string. Alright, so let's take it from the slide. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that part. We're getting into kind of, as we're doing this chorus in the outro, he'll do some licks in between. So we'll talk about that next to finish up. So we go through the chorus one full time. Now, after we go from the B flat to the F with the half measures, we'll do a lick. So it'll start again, C. Alright, just like the intro, we're at 16 and 15 on the 1st and 2nd string. And on the C note on 17. And we're back into another measure of the chorus, all right, we're going to cut it short. When we go to the C, we'll do another lick. So we'll start out on C, but the second C, we do the next lick. All right, so basically we're going to start out at the second string, 13, 12 on the third string, bent up with the third string, unbent, and then 2 strikes, and then we're going to hit, basically it's a D chord form, but at the 11th fret. So we'll be at 11 on the first and third string, and the second string at 12. Alright, and slide that down. Then we're into another, this is the ending part of it. So the B flat and the F are held for a full measure, and then you'll hear the last lick. So again, to wind this up, the chorus extends out the B flat and the F. So we have this. And then you'll hear this lick. Alright, so what we're doing for that final lick is the 12 bent up on the third string, hitting 13 to unbent. Then we're going to slide in on the third and first string at the 12th fret. So we hit 12 on the, as we slide in, we'll hit 12 on the third to the first string. Move that down a half step to 11 to 10. Then what we do is go right to the 7th fret. Then we're going to pull off from 7 to 5 on the third string, hitting 7 on the 4, back to 7 on the 3, 7 on the 4. Then 5, 7, then our 7 sevens. Again, one more time. Then we end with 7 to 5 on the third string. And then you'll hear a pick scrape and then a C chord. And that ends the song. So this was a ton of work. I mean, Gary's playing is just phenomenal. So I think the notes will really help. You know, again, I use Riff Station to load the songs and select sections. There's YouTube videos on how to do that and slow it down and practice them. And I really hope this helps everybody. Enjoy.